Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is June 25th, 2020, and came across this story that happened back on Father's Day on June 21st. And supposedly, the NYPD officer who used an illegal chokehold on a man named Ricky Bellevue, I guess that's how you say his name, he surrendered today on June 25th. And if you read the headline, it says that NYPD cop arrested for using chokehold, victim out cold after 8 to 12 seconds. And this took place back on June 21st, but he waited all the way till today, Thursday, to surrender. And there's a reason for that. But the officer involved in this is a 39-year-old David Afanador, 39 years old. And this took place in New York City. And the district attorney involved in this case is a woman named Melinda Katz. And she is the one who has charged Mr. David with aggravated strangulation in the second degree. They're saying that if the officer gets convicted, he can face up to 7 years in prison for using a banned chokehold. And if you guys remember, if you guys remember the Eric Garner story, he was killed by a police officer who used an illegal chokehold. And I'm going to show you guys in this video how the Eric Garner case, the George Floyd case, and this case here with Ricky Bellevue are all related. As unbelievable as it sounds, it's very true. These people are masterminds at, orchestrating these events and having them, align to having them aligned to each other every single time so perfectly. It's just really amazing. It really is. Eric Garner died in 2014. Here we are in 2020, speaking about a case that's related to his death. Truly amazing. So, this happened on Sunday, Father's Day, but they waited to today for the officer to supposedly surrender. And why today? Well, because today is a date with 71 numerology. 6 plus 25 plus 20 plus 20 is sums to 71, just like African American, just like police brutality. If you guys remember the George Floyd case, it went viral on a day with 71 numerology. The officer is 39 years old. Name is David Afanador. And notice this happened in Queens, New York. He was 39. Just like New York, just like NYC, NY, Empire, New York, MSG, which is abbreviation for Madison Square Garden. All of these words that deal with New York, they all sum to 39. 39 is the New York number. And if you guys are new here, you should visit this website, Gematria.com, and start plugging in words and learning their numerical values. This is a good way to learn how this stuff works. So if you type in New York, it sums to 39. Right? The way you write out New York in an envelope is New York NY, and that sums to 39 as well. The abbreviation for New York is NY, and that sums to 39. Even NYC also sums to 39. And so does Empire, MSG, just like I said. So these are the 4 base ciphers. You have the alphabetic order in reverse. And then these 2 ciphers are the ciphers where you apply the rules of numerology. So in this cipher, you have the alphabetic order, and then you apply the rules of numerology, converting all the double-digit letters into single-digit numbers. Same thing here. By having the alphabetic order in reverse, you apply the rules of numerology. So that's how this stuff works. The other side is the date numerology and date spans. You want to measure how many days from a specific event to another specific event. And in this case, we're going to measure how many days it's been since the killing of George Floyd and how many days has it been since the killing of Eric Garner. Because all three of these stories are all related. So the officer is 39 years old. This took place in Queens, New York, which sums to 39. Now the district attorney is a woman named Melinda Katz, and her name sums to 116 and 44, just like African American, right? And this took place in Rockaway Beach, which also sums to 116. Just like African American, just like the district attorney assigned to this case, right? 116, which is just another upside down 119, and that relates back to George Floyd, right? The day that this happened, it happened on June 21st, which was Father's Day, right? Father's Day sums to 44. But June 21st, that was the date leaving 193 days left in a year. And 193 is the 44th prime number. And we always talk about the number 44 because it shows up throughout history all the time. Every single time. The number 44, it shows up again and again and again. You know, George Floyd was killed by a 44-year-old police officer. 44. And this is the victim here. Well, he's not the. Well, he is a victim, but he didn't die. But he is the person involved in the chokehold. He was the person that was choked out by the police officer, David Afenador. And, you know, he's wearing a Brooklyn Nets jersey, a D'Angelo Russell jersey. I'm also going to show you guys how this is all related to D'Angelo Russell as well, you know. All of these details that you guys see here, you know, from the things that they wear, the dates, all this stuff is important. You want to look at that because there's a reason he's wearing this jersey. It's no accident. But the man's name is Ricky Bellevue. His name sums to 201. And it also sums to 60. And remember, George Floyd's name sums to 201. His full name, George Perry Floyd. So his name is 201, just like George Floyd's name is 201. And of course, 60 is a number that's stamped all over Black history, right? The N-word is 60. Also, police is 60. But George Floyd's name also sums to 102. So let's take a look at this, right? So look. So Ricky Bellove's name is 201 and 60. George Floyd's name is 201 and 102. Just like how police is 60 and 102. And the N-word is 60 and 102. It's really amazing how they code it every time the same way. The word slavery also sums to 102. Which is just another reflection of 201, right? And if you notice the headline, it says that the victim was out cold after 8 to 12 seconds. Think about the reflection of that number. 8 to 12, like 218. That was a big number with the with the George Floyd case. Also the Eric Garner, but mostly the George Floyd case. The 218 was a big number. Because the phrase, I can't breathe, sums to 218. Which also connects back to Eric Garner, right? Eric Garner, that was his last words before he passed away. I can't breathe. Also, George Floyd. Coincidentally, both of these men were dealing cigarettes. And the last words that they say before they died and get killed by police officers is, I can't breathe. Coincidentally. And then this man here, Ricky Bellevue, I don't even doubt, I don't know all the details about this story, but I guarantee you there's going to be some type of cigarettes involved. It's every single time, cigarettes. Cigarettes sums to 44. But the reflection of 218 is 8:12, right? He was out cold for 8 to 12 seconds. So that's why they're saying that, I mean, who was really adding up to seconds to see what time did he pass out and then came back? I mean, was the police officer with a stopwatch at the scene? Probably not. So where do they get these numbers from? 8 to 12 seconds. It's made up. That's where they get it from. But Stephen Jackson sums to 218, the twin brother of George Floyd. He was born Stephen Jesse Jackson. His full name sums to 218. We pointed out how, his full name reminds us of the civil rights activist Jesse Jackson. And notice how Civil Rights Act sums to 218. So that was a big number. And Ricky, he was out cold from 8 to 12 seconds. So the Eric Garner case, that was the last time we've seen the illegal chokehold go viral, right? He was killed by the police officer doing the same chokehold that the police officer did on Mr. Ricky. Notice he was selling single cigarettes, right? But Eric Garner died on July 17th, 2014. And from the killing of Eric Garner to today's news that the officer is surrendering, it's a span of 310 weeks. Eric Garner sums to 310 in Gematria. And the key digits here is 3 and 1, like 31, which is a big number because the day that Eric Garner died, that was a day with 31 numerology. 7 plus 17 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 sums to 31. And the date that the Ricky Bellevue story happened, that was also a day with 31 numerology. And all this happened 310 weeks after Eric Garner. Right? And George Floyd, you guys all know about George Floyd now, right? He died on May 25th, which was 31 days ago. For another 31. And Ricky, he was wearing... I always forget to turn my phone off. Ricky Bellevue, he was wearing a D'Angelo Russell jersey the day that this all happened, right? And D'Angelo Russell was born on February 23rd, 1996. Notice his first name, D'Angelo, sums to 31. And look how old he was. Look how old he is now. Today is the day that the officer has surrendered, right? So from the day that he was born to today's date, it's a span of 1,270 weeks on the nose. Key digits is 127, and 127 is the 31st prime number. Another 31, right? So 310 weeks after the killing of Eric Garner, we get this story that the officer is surrendering to the district attorney's office. Eric Garner sums to 310. This happens 31 days after the killing of George Floyd. And then the guy's wearing a D'Angelo Russell jersey, and the guy is 1,270 days old, and 127 is the 31st prime number. And the guy's name even sums to 31. So what's up with all these 31s? Well, what this proves is that all of these events are connected. Because not only did Eric Garner get killed on a day with 31 numerology, but Ricky Bellevue, he was choked out on a day with 31 numerology. And what I think is the big riddle here is that it's all connected to the Scottish rite of Freemasonry. Because that sums to 127, the 31st prime number. So I think that's why we're seeing all these 31s. So that goes to show you that none of this stuff that you see is an accident. From the things that they wear to the names of the victims, everything is well planned and orchestrated. It's been 310 weeks on the nose since the Eric Garner killing. History repeating itself, right? So all you people out there, destroying your neighborhoods and protesting Black Lives Matter, just know that you're wasting your time because none of this stuff is going to stop. This is rituals. You're fighting the wrong enemy. It's not the police orchestrating these events. These people here are probably not really even police officers, you know? They work for Freemasonry. They're just Masons in police uniforms. And these so called suspects or victims, gotta do some more investigation on who these people really are. These people have the perfect name for these events. Yep. So that's all I have, and just want to cover this story because this is gonna piece it all together. This is gonna further prove that the George Floyd, the Eric Garner, and all of these other events that have, ruined people's emotions even more are all just contrived events by the numbers. People really need to wake up to know who's really behind all this stuff, It's not, your local police department. A lot of them don't even know what's really going on. And the way you can tell is by, just take a look at your local police officer. He's probably wearing a face mask. He's as clueless as any other sheep out there. So we'll leave it there. Um, Looks like nobody's getting notifications, right? 12 people watching. But see, he was wearing a D'Angelo Russell jersey. D'Angelo Russell is 56, and his birthday is on 2/2/3. Yep. Yeah, those are big numbers this year. Yeah, Ricky, Eric. I see what you mean. Bavarian Illuminati, Sumser 127. Okay. So Stubrock says that Tower 1, Tower 2, and Building 7 was attacked on 9/11, like 127. Hey, that's a great observation. Absolutely. So Grant Rogers says that most police officers join the Brotherhood of Freemasonry. Yep, I believe that. Yeah, it's very true. So this is why, these things continue to happen. It's because it's the same people behind it. But you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. I'll probably be back a little bit later on tonight. Nobody's getting notifications. 12 people watching a live stream.